Do you not like PvP, but you do need alliance points to unlock the skills under the Alliance War lines? I have a video for you. Hello, it's Icy. Yes, I have a video for you. This is an update for a previous video recorded something like 3.5 years ago, so I thought it was time to update my video on how to farm AP if you don't like PvP for Elder Scrolls Online 2021. So this video is specifically aimed at PvE players. It is not aimed at people who love their PvP. You will find I give a whole bunch of shortcuts. If you love PvP, you may have started here anyway, but this video is aimed specifically at people who just need to unlock some abilities and skills under the Alliance War lines. So let's get into it, shall we? There are 3 places in the game now. 3 where you can unlock alliance points. The easiest one is actually from logging in. Your login rewards for the game every so often will have alliance points available. So for example, this month you can see further down the tree there are 2,000 alliance points available. Now this is not a lot, but if you have a secondary alt character and you just eventually want them to get the alliance points, if you log in on that character and claim your daily rewards on that one, they will actually have the alliance points associated with them. So sometimes, especially if you just need to get level 1, for example, just to unlock the first Alliance War skill, Vigor, this has changed from the previous video, for stamina healing, some of these things are enough. You only need a tiny amount of alliance points in order to unlock this. So that's the first place and easiest. You can get them without even having to do any sort of PvP, in fact. So the other 2 locations where you can get alliance points are Cyrodiil and PvP Combat, and Imperial City, I'll include in that, and Battlegrounds. So Cyrodiil is where I am right now. It is an entire zone. It is PvP enabled, and it's literally, the idea is you take keeps for your alliance, and you hold those keeps to prevent the other alliances going. You can kill any player who is not on your alliance, or you can try, and you can be killed by any player not on your alliance. There is no friendly fire in this game. So the other zone is in Imperial City and the dungeons underneath Imperial City, the sewers. This zone is a combination of PvE and PvP. The monsters in here are tough. They are quite capable of killing you on their own, but yes, player combat is also enabled in this zone. I don't find that this is a great place for farming alliance points because the player monster ratio is not great, so there's probably more monsters than players. But if you're in here and you happen to kill a player, you will definitely get alliance points for doing that. So let's focus on Cyrodiil to start with, shall we? So you get 6,000 alliance points for being in a keep when it flips to your alliance. So if I jumped over here, I would need to ride quite quickly. Riding speed's a big thing in Cyrodiil. I was in this keep when it flipped from yellow to red. I would immediately get 6,000 alliance points. I don't need to contribute these ticks, so the offense ticks are just automatically dished out to anybody in who's basically in the keep. You do need to be quite close to the keep. So for example, if I was over in one of the resources, so a few hundred meters away, I wouldn't get the tick. If you're in here and you want to make sure that you're going to get it, make sure that you do some sort of combat. You hit something, you repair something, you heal something. So I think that's the most important thing. These resources as well, if flipping one of those to your alliance color will give you 1,500 alliance points. You will get 500 for taking a scroll and putting the scroll in one of your keeps. It can be your scroll or it can be somebody else's scroll. So these are all the default basic flipping things that you can do. In addition to those, there are also quests. These are all PvP orientated quests. Turning in these quests, which you can see I haven't picked up right now, will also give you alliance points as well as experience points as well. So it's worthwhile picking up these quests in addition. So there is a kill player quest, kill 20 wardens, kill 20 players. There are 5 you can do in every day. There's a capture the scroll quest. There is a capture a resource quest, capture a keep quest, and a few other bits and pieces. This one here is the easiest. It's a scouting mission. Literally you just have to walk up to the keep, stand there for a few minutes and come back. So that one will give you 500, and that is worthwhile doing actually, especially if you don't have any other way of generating AP. If you don't want to do any sort of combat at all, this is an option. Additionally, if you don't want to do any sort of combat at all, there are 5 questing zones in each map, and they have a series of little daily quests. They're very boring. They're fetch quests pretty much. Run out, kill some sort of small PvE thing, come back. Run out, drop something off in a box, come back. But yeah, each of those zones will have little ones. They will give you a small amount of alliance points, a chance for some Cyrodiil armor, and a few other bits and pieces. So those are Shadenhall, Brummer, or Brummer perhaps, over here in Chorrol and Wayne Priory. They sort of share quests between them, and down here in Velastris. So you can see 2 of them are kind of not, you actually have to ride to these 2, and the other ones can actually be flipped to your alliance and vice versa. Oh, sorry, and I missed Cropsford down the bottom here. So you can pick up AP just by doing those quests there. It is not an efficient way to get alliance points. I'd recommend you do all of these quests at least once, but they are quite tedious. You are actually better to look for a keep, run to the keep, go and help it out, try and flip it. Now, the other thing to do is you can actually boost your sources of alliance points within a campaign by killing a boss in one of the delves. So you can see there's actually a whole bunch of delves all the way around the map. Each one of them has a skill point as well, through a sky shard. If you go and kill the boss, then you'll get an extra 20% alliance points on top of whatever else you're generating. So if you're truly here to farm, run in, kill a boss, then go and do whatever else you need to do in the zone. Now, there is something new that's been added recently, and it is called a Coral War Tort. Basically, there are now recipes that you can find that will increase your alliance points. There are already recipes in the game that you can make potions that will increase your experience. Now there are alliance points ones as well. You find the recipe initially from just a crafting node that you'll find in Overland. There's a rare chance to get them from that. You find the ingredients from doing the previously mentioned town dailies, and then you need to craft them. They're expensive to craft, material wise, extremely expensive, but if you craft the basic one, you'll then get an additional 50% AP from all sources while that food is active. There, and then additionally there's an 100% version XP and 150% version. I'll include a link in the description to how to find the rest of the values, but I just wanted to let you know that within the game there is a way that you can find things that increase your alliance points as well. So is it worthwhile? Probably not. If you're just trying to unlock skills, it might be something that you're more interested in if you're trying to get some of the really high alliance ranks. So, I've talked about offensive ticks. Let's talk about defensive ticks. So you can get a defensive tick by being in the keep and defending it against everybody else. So people trying to take it over. The defensive tick is specifically related to the amount of alliance points you contribute to the pool. So for example, killing other players, healing other players, repairing walls, using siege, all of those sorts of things. So for example, this keep up here, the yellow, the Chalman keep, If it goes red, all of the red players there will get an offensive tick. If it goes out of combat back into and stays yellow, all of the yellow players there will get their defensive tick. These ticks can be huge. Like just taking a keep with no other kills is that 6,000 AP, but once you factor in all of the other kills in there, the numbers go up and up and up. So defensive ticks can be extremely large. You do need to contribute to them though, so make sure that you can do one of those things. So if you're a solo player and you just want to jump into PvP to get your alliance points and you don't know what to do, I would suggest that you come in as a healer. Even if you're a stamina player, you can still equip a healing staff of some sort, jump in and heal the people around you. So until you can generate a few alliance points, bring some siege. There are siege merchants in every keep, and you can buy some basic siege for gold, and once you have some alliance points you can get some better siege. Don't use other people's siege. If they've left it on the ground and they're trying to knock down a keep, it's extremely bad manners. They're usually trying to run multiple siege and you'll interfere with their timings. You can contribute to a battering ram on a door, especially if you're healing. 6 players makes it the most effective, so you don't have any siege. Try and stack up with the battering ram as you're trying to knock the door down. Repairing walls and doors is very important. You can buy wall repair kits for alliance points or gold, and then you literally use them on this, equip them in your quick bar and use them on the walls. There are door repair kits as well. They only work on the front doors. The big front doors, the little side doors count as stone, naturally. So that's all, most of the places I would say that you can generate alliance points. Should you join a group? Maybe. If there are kind of general groups recruiting in zone, say for example asking people to type in a keyword in order to join the group, sure, why not? Maybe, if that's something you're interested in doing. All of your AP generation is more effective. The one thing I'd say is now you don't have to be in a group to get a kind of a group bonus from combat. As long as you're near the other people, you can get a share of alliance points and XP if you're contributing. So for example, as long as you've gotten a kill in that zone, or you've hit damage somebody or you've healed somebody, you'll get a share of the group AP and the group alliance, even if you're not technically a member of that group. So as long as you're contributing, this is the important thing, you do need to contribute. So one thing would be look for a combat, run to the combat, help out in the combat is a big thing. Should you join voice in a group? That's up to you. If it's a really formal structured group, you might be encouraged to do so. If usually you can join voice and not talk. There are issues sometimes with joining voice. I've known heaps of lovely groups and then some who have not been. So if you're not sure, don't join voice, that's fine. Join the group maybe. If you find it uncomfortable, that's okay, just leave again. Campaign selection. So there are a bunch of campaigns and they all have kind of different purposes, I'd say. Your alliance locked campaign, there's usually only one. This is where all the serious PvPers go. Sometimes, especially in prime time, it actually might be so full that you have to queue to get in. It is probably also the place where you'll get the most alliance points, but it is the place where most people are serious about their player versus player combat and less likely to understand if people are making mistakes because they're not familiar with what's going on. If you're under, say, around 300 champion points, something like that, then I would suggest that you try out the no CP campaigns, where CP is specifically disabled and you won't find yourself maybe at such a disadvantage against really high champion point players. If you're in an organized group with friends, then that's probably not necessary. Then you have the standard campaign, such as this one, where its champion points are enabled, but you can join with any alliance. Usually these campaigns are less busy. So if you do just want to do something like flip the resources or do the daily quests in the towns, these are the campaigns that I would recommend that you come to, because you have less chance of being interfered with by people who are trying to kill other players. So I would recommend this. If you're below level 50, totally go in that campaign. That is really, yeah, totally. The other thing I would say is you can always go in and check and see what the map looks like as well. The map in this campaign right now looks great. That's perfectly all right. It's fairly even. There's combat happening. You might want to go, if you're just farming quests, you might want to try and find a campaign where your alliance dominates. If you're trying to flip resources, you want one where there are resources to be flipped, for example. So let's talk about Battlegrounds. So Battlegrounds can be queued for by going into the party window and then into Battlegrounds. So you can queue for either a random battleground or a solo random battleground, and that's it. So I would recommend that if you are queuing solo, so you can queue with a group. If you're queuing solo, I would recommend you choose the solo one, and that means you won't be matched, for example, with people who are already in a preformed group. Preformed groups are obviously more lethal, so that would be one thing. No, you also get a whole bunch of XP as well by doing the random battleground. You will get a minimum, even if you lose, you'll get a minimum of, I think it's been a while actually, is it 7,000 alliance points? I think. Please correct me in the chat if I've got that wrong. For a maximum of 15 minutes of combat. If you really just need to grind through and you're not interested in coming into Cyrodiil at all, not even to get sky shards or do any of that sort of other stuff, I would suggest that you just put yourself through a bunch of battlegrounds. Once again, healing is very good. And if you don't care about just losing all the time, just go in with your normal armor. Just do it. It's probably much faster, much more efficient. You get some nice trophies and gear out of it, and you get some nice armor styles and a bunch of things. So I would just go straight into Battlegrounds and just queue and get it over and done with. So some of the skills that you need to be unlocking are Warhorn. If you're going to be a tank or a healer, you will need to unlock Warhorn. If you are a stamina character, you will need to unlock Vigor. Vigor doesn't take much to unlock anymore. It's been moved up to the top rank, basically. So you might want to, get that really quickly. I would recommend you come in to do that. Now, the other thing that you can get now, which is quite interesting, is there is no need to get charging maneuver anymore, except in a few specific cases. If you're just looking for a speed boost running around in Overland Tamriel, what you actually want to unlock now is the continuous attack. So the passive, you'll notice that says gain major gallop at all times, increasing your mount speed by 30%. So it would be the best thing. You just need to unlock that, and that's fairly low on the amount of alliance points that you need to get that one. So that's been moved basically. Previously it was this skill you needed, and now it's actually dropped down to here. So one reason why you might still want the charging maneuver is that this works for running. So the other one is riding speed. You can still use this one for running speed. So if you're trying to farm something very quickly, you can still cast this and actually run faster. So under the support tree, you might need to unlock Barrier if you're a tank or healer, and you might also need Purge as well, is another one that you might need to unlock as tanks and healers. So these are the skills that you need to get. The other thing I'd say is don't forget to at least come into Cyrodiil and get the two free skill points that you can get from in here. One is for just coming in, pretty much, and the other one is for each PvP rank that you hit, you get a skill point as well. So you'll get pretty much 2 free skill points just for coming in, doing the introductory quests, and that's it. So I would actually recommend you come in. You won't be able to come in here or queue for PvP Battlegrounds until you hit level 10. The only way to get around getting champion point alliance points before you get to level 10 is from your login rewards. So that is actually one way, depending on the month, that you can actually get these skills early before even coming in. You just collect them on your new character, and then you might be able to unlock these skills without ever coming in here. So, but I hope that that's been helpful to you. It was time for an update to this video. If you let me know in the comments below if there's any other things you think would be useful for a new player or a player who just needs to unlock some skills. Also, I stream The Elder Scrolls Online over on twitch.tv/ICYIC, and I'm a member of the ESO Stream Team, the official stream team, so I do have giveaways and codes, and I do that relatively often, so do come over and visit. That would be amazing. Please do subscribe here on YouTube if you have not for much other content. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time.